Nice to see you. We're here streaming. As we are wont to do on Friday, it's Galciv. Hooray!
Hello.
I'm Adam, that's Paul. He's the lead designer of Galactic Civilizations 3. I am just some guy who runs these Twitch streams and plugs Minnesota sports teams when they're winning, which is actually happening right now in baseball, and it's amazing. And it's a good time for everybody, and I know you all care deeply. So that's good news for everyone. I have a little treaty treat today for you. We have our IT guys have hooked up this really cool tachyon stuff. And I can show you the last 10,000 matches pings on the world map, which is pretty cool.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
I thought that was a Steam thing.
No.
That's our thing. Oh,
that's our
cool.
thing. I'm pretty sure this is all tachyon.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So
Because I was
yeah.
like, oh, that's new. It looks like War Games.
It does kind of look like War Games.
Okay.
So you can see here the last 10,000 matches that we've recorded that have been submitted to Galciv, which is pretty cool. You can see we got some buddies down in Australia and New Zealand. Not a whole lot in India.
We got a guy in Greenland up there.
We got a guy in Greenland. That's right. Hawaii out in the ocean, you can see. It's pretty cool. So yeah, and then you can see also North America. Kind of busted out. It's a whole lot of U.S., unsurprisingly. Pretty much follows a map of U.S. population. And then you can also see Europe. A whole lot of Germans and a whole lot of English folks. We love you all, and thank you very much for your support. So, congratulations to us for having such a successfully globally launched game. Hooray. But we're here today to talk about kind of the other stuff that's going on and what's going on with updates. We have an internal build for you today. It's not massively different, I don't think, than what's on the opt-in.
This will be opt-in 3, which I think is opt-in 2 out what's right now.
I think we pushed something out yesterday.
Yeah, we had to fix a couple things. One of the things that caused a bunch of chaos and is in order to balance like some exploits, I had adjusted some masses of ships, and it broke up people's ships.
Oh, because it broke ship designs. Sure.
It doesn't break them; it makes them so they can't build them without editing them. I mean, we make it so that they show up, so you can edit them. We don't just invalidate them, but they won't show up in the build list. Which, let me tell you, makes me cry a little, because that means I can never balance mass. So I had to revert all that and then kind of find other ways to kind of balance those things a little better.
Sure.
The one thing this does do, which is something I was trying to avoid, is it makes it for us to address the sensor barge thing. We're going to have to do diminishing returns, which is going to get a bunch of people mad at me. But
that's actually the topic.
It sounds like everybody's going to get mad at me regardless of that. So
you're kind of hosed.
The only other way to fix the problem was to make sensors and stuff heavier. But then the problem is people's ships' designs die, and then they get mad at us. So what we're going to do is make it so, and this won't be until 1.1, or maybe even 1.2, probably 1.1, where the more sensors you get, it's going to actually be, ironically, more realistic, because this is how radio waves work, but the volume will start to diminish.
Right.
So that will address that problem. One thing I did do that people will like, though, is I boosted the sensor range of all the Starbases. So they're a much more valid alternative to these sensor barges. So you put out a couple Starbases, you boost those up to like a 4th level sensor, and those are as good as like a barge. So that you can still have that, but without this, like, I literally, late game, can make a ship that clears the whole fog of war.
Right.
So we had to address that, and it does bum me out about the not being able to adjust mass, because there are certain exploits that I would like to fix that I really can't fix any other way. So sometime in the future, probably in the first expansion, we will probably have to not break ships, but make it so those types of ships can't be built, and you'll have to edit them to fix them, and we'll try and find some way to automate that. Anyways, that was my morning of discontent. One of the things I was showing here is we also added, and this might be in the existing patch, the ability to edit races and ships. So I was doing that here. So anybody who's a big custom faction person knows that they come in here and they make a faction, and then they would copy it, and you'd end up with 50 of that, and you'd have to go through and delete them. So we made it so that you can now hit edit, and you can go in here and change things. So I want these guys to be this instead of this, and I want them to have the Snathy portrait instead of
The old Yor.
the old Yor. And I hit save, and now he is just changed.
Hooray!
So that'll make some people happy. Less
Yes, for sure. We have so many questions in the chat, which is awesome. That I
Oh wait, I wanted to
let me
show
see.
more. Okay, wait a second.
No, go ahead.
So one of the other things we added was here. Let me remove this. We added
Oh, yes.
randomization of races. Now this is a little underwhelming when you only have 8 races. So like, say I want to play 5 people. I don't know who. I don't know what 4 or 5. Oh, hey, that's weird. Oh,
internal build.
No.
Uh-oh.
I'll have
Could
to
just be a
report
display.
that to Alan or Nathan. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I go like this. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that makes me mad. Anyway, so now there's 3 random races, and you see the other races still in here. So I can say, well, I want 3 random races and the Drengen. And so even if one of these was the Drengen before, now it'll swap it out with somebody else. Now, where this is really going to be awesome is once the Steam Workshop comes in and people have 50 races to play against. So this is kind of a little step forward towards that.
Absolutely. We have so many questions in the chat, and they're so
Okay.
good. They're so
All right,
good
all
that I
right.
want to get to them. So let's see. First, easy one. How does diplomatic bonus work? I have built an embassy on every planet, and it seems to do nothing noticeable.
Each time you build an embassy, it actually raises your approval with everyone around you.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if everybody's still really mad at you, it doesn't necessarily help. But yeah, that is it's of no use if everybody already likes you, right? It's not of terrible use if everybody's already trying to kill you.
Right.
But if you're trying to essentially like play a race where you keep people happy and you trade with them and stuff, embassies are very useful.
And presumably you get better value on trades as well, right? If they like you
Well,
more?
if they like you more, you get better values
Right.
on trade. That's kind of separate from
Sure.
the embassy.
Sure. But if the embassy helps them like you more.
Yes.
So, all right.
Anything that ups diplomatic ups it with everyone, except for. Actually, I think we were going to have some stuff that was like with diplomatic races or blah, blah, blah. And I don't think we ever did any of that. So right now they all just make everybody like you more.
Okay.
But like I said, those things can be voided out pretty easy by declaring war on someone. Like your embassy is useless to you if you declared war on them or, things
Sure.
like that.
That is the best Mars layout ever.
That is not bad. What's funny is that's probably not that uncommon because there's only so many
Sure.
places on here.
Because Mars is one of the very few, three
Mars and
fixed.
Earth are like, actually
And
all of
Altaria.
the capitals.
All the capitals are? Okay.
fixed.
All right. Can you request a constructor use a user-defined ship?
Yes, but what I ended up having to do, okay, so there was this whole class of bugs that people were getting, and it really bit us in the butt, is we made it so people could obsolete ships in like 1.0 or in 1.0, obsolete game design ships, which is something we had never let them do before. So what we didn't account for is there are certain blueprints that were awarded, like the free colony ship, the free frigates, things like that.
Sure.
If you had obsoleted that blueprint, it would cost. It would
Oh, no.
not show up. And in some cases, it would cause a crash.
Okay.
So, we fixed that by making everybody use special award blueprints. So what I did in this last build was made it so that the request constructor is called basic constructor, and it is literally just a constructor with a constructor module. So that way people don't have to go, I don't want to spend time building hyperdrives and life support on something that's just going to this ship. Now, so that addresses the I don't want to spend so much money on a requested constructor. So that's fixed. But we do want to eventually make it so people, so players can actually choose which one.
Sure.
Now that said, in in the first expansion, we're going to actually rework the way constructors work. So we're probably not going to spend
Did you decide to
too
do
much
that?
time Well, yeah, we already.
Okay.
I have a whole design for it.
No, I know.
I would actually put it in earlier, but it really seems like it's too much of a game change.
Sure.
So we're probably gonna. It'll either be in like the middle, like in the middle of the year, like 6 months from now, or 5, I guess now, or it'll be in the first expansion, which is next year.
Okay. No, I was just there was kind of some discussion about that design that you had in the bullpen the other day, and I got really excited about it because it sounded really cool.
It's something we had already kind of discussed doing, and we wanted to err on the side of making sure we tended to err, and I know we get some criticism for this on did it work well in Galactic 2 and so the request constructor thing was kind of a last minute way to kind of reduce some micromanagement, but it wasn't the optimum way to do it. So we've got a couple of tweaks we can still make to that.
Sure. All right. There is a large question to be had about the economy. And I know we've talked about this internally, so I know you have an answer for it. When I've never seen anywhere on the planetary screen or otherwise, it shows what effect my population number has on production, science, or income.
That is actually something that we are adding. As a matter of fact, will be in 1.1 is right here. There's going to be right above influence. It'll be production.
You are going to put that in there. Thank goodness.
And then that production, essentially the problem is originally production was just straight population. So it really was kind of redundant to have production.
Sure.
But then we added the Promethean refineries, and we added some techs that give you a bump, and we made it so the capitals give you a bump.
Yep.
And those are all things so to keep the early game going and yet not have them overpower the end. So what we actually now need is a raw production thing that will show here and give you a complete breakdown of where all your production is coming from, including your population.
And that is...
So that will be in 1.1.
Also answers the question of approval and what does approval do for you.
And then the approval thing, now if you'll remember, we originally had, at the bottom of the approval, we actually had the bonuses it gave.
Sure.
Now, I thought I was being clever because I took them out and we put them into all the things. So high approval bonus, 24%, right?
Which is great, but
it doesn't show it for growth,
right?
And it doesn't show it for production,
right?
Now we could either put a growth production here, but I think I'm literally just going to put them back into the approval, so that
I
you
think
can
that's
just at a glance go, oh, I'm getting bonus. Oh, it's hurting my approval, and so you'll know at a glance,
right?
And it shouldn't be that hard to do. It's a little redundant information, which I tend to not be a fan of, but I can live with it.
So that's kind of the answer to that. Oh, and in 103, I believe we have the changed econ equation as well, right? The production, it's no longer the exponential kind of tiered production. It's just the 2x or the straight population equals raw production.
No, we can't do that because
not straight up, but like it's instead of the like times two times population to the 0.7th power.
No, we haven't changed any of that.
Okay.
Unless Brad changed it and didn't tell me. But if he did do that, it will break a lot of things because people will get, unless we nerf.
He nerfed really farms.
It's not going to be enough.
Well, you may want to.
Anyways, great. Well, that scares me. That scares me. That
somebody may have broken your game, but don't worry about it.
Nobody told me that this was changing. So
because I just checked the numbers on Alpha yesterday, and they added up to what Brad had said that he was going to do. So.
Well, okay, great. That's embarrassing.
So, well, I apologize for bringing it up on the stream then.
Okay.
But in any case, the idea is for production to be a little, and economy in general to be a little bit more transparent, so you understand.
Yes, which we primarily need that tooltip.
Yes, because the tooltip will help a lot.
Yeah, because the big concern is that as long as it's a straight curve, the most efficient thing for you to ever build is farms. So there's really no point of ever building anything else if it's a straight curve. So that is why it can't be a straight line.
Yeah, morale helps with that. Because you have morale needs as you increase your population as well.
Yes. But that's like that's a finger in the dike.
Fair enough. Wow, you really planned for that solar plan, huh?
Well, I did, but now I'm too busy being distracted by your questions to actually make any progress. So anyways.
I always just build the stupid factory there and tear it down later because I don't want to forgo
too.
Anyway, all right. Let's see. We have so many. Okay. When upgrading starbases with constructors, can we have an option to set starbase upgrades to automatic, a la Galciv 2?
The problem with that is, I mean, maybe.
Okay.
It's because which one do you want? You know?
Sure.
That's the problem. Is like, well, I wanted it to be, why is it updating my sensors when it could be updating my defenses?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that we have to figure out. So eventually we'll have a better system for that. But
Right. So it's kind
I
of
don't
hard.
know
when
if
it's
it'll
like,
be just a straight automatically upgrade.
Sure. That's my personal biggest bugaboo with Galciv 3 is just constructor spam. And just a micromanaging of all the freaking constructors. Even with, request constructor helps, but even so.
Well, like I said, that's
like,
why we're going to rework
Right.
the whole system. But
Right.
In the meantime, we might do something like the automatic.
Right. So, all right, let's see. We have. Sorry. Oh, this one. This is my other bugaboo with Galciv. You guys are like tuning into my brain really well right now. Will we ever be able to culture flip starbases and/or demand the AI remove starbases within my area of influence? Because it's really annoying how everybody likes to spam constructors all throughout your freaking territory or your cultural borders.
You might eventually be able to culture flip starbases, actually, but there's no way to demand that an AI move a starbase other than to essentially threaten them with war.
Right.
So we can, maybe make something like that, but that would be super exploitable. So it's something we have to do very carefully.
Sure. I actually make specialized fleets that are tasked with blowing up enemy starbases because there are so freaking many of them.
Yeah, but the minute you've done that, you're just declaring war on them. So
Oh, yeah.
there's no point in asking them to move.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm just saying that like that's my current solution to the problem. Although my current solution to most of my Galciv problems is to build more fleets and declare more war. So that's kind of how I do. Does population affect influence?
No. Wait, yes, approval affects influence, which
Yes.
is then affected by population. but
Sure. But your influence is just like,
no,
plus
your
one
influence
per colony.
is
then-
your whatever your influence points per colony, which
right.
are generated by improvements
Right.
or techs, etc.
Right. Let's see. Can we get a way to manage starbases like we can manage colonies? I guess I don't know if he's talking about like a tab in the govern screen. Because you have the tab in your empire tree on the right side of the main UI. So you can obviously colonies are there. I use that screen all the freaking time.
That's not a bad idea.
not a bad
Although there's
idea.
not that many things to manage with a starbase, really.
It would be nice to kind of have a list and be able to see quickly like what level your various starbases were, like how many available modules and stuff.
Yeah,
that
it's
they
certainly something to look into.
had. But yeah, managing starbases, managing constructors, I think that in general is just something that we're looking to solve with the redesigned system, which is coming a little bit later on. Let's see. If you want to replace a planet improvement, this is actually another one. Seriously, you guys, you're asking all the questions so that I don't have to. I love it. If you want to replace a planet improvement, you need to first destroy it. This is annoying if it's not going to be built for, say, 5 turns. Could you make it just queue the improvement but not destroy what it's replacing until it gets actually to the top of the queue?
I see.
I would totally love that because I replace improvements all the time. Like you really kind of have to if you want to play well.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why we couldn't do that.
There'd
So
be a
they
little
just make
bit of
it so you-
UI around
Well,
it, but
yeah, it's more of just a UI thing. Is would it be intuitive? So I go in here and I want to change this to a research facility. If I just made it so when you click it and you double clicked research facility and it like put a research, how do you display that it's going to turn into something else?
you could probably have like an icon either on the top maybe, because you couldn't put it on the bottom because that's where your planet or your tile specials are if there is one. But you could put like an icon on the top, like where the upgrade icon goes.
Is, yeah. Maybe.
That might work.
That's certainly maybe.
It'd be a nice quality of life.
Yeah.
So we'll put it on the list. We'll see. Let's see. Why does the malevolent building get adjacency bonuses from the other ideology buildings, but the benevolent and pragmatic buildings don't? Also, what the heck do adjacency bonuses do for ideology buildings?
It depends on the individual ideology building. So this one actually, like the preparedness center, is a defense thing, so it gives you defense bonuses.
Okay.
So the reason why the malevolent one probably is getting is because it's actually giving whatever the bonus is. So
Okay.
let's see. Which building is he referring to? Let's see.
I'm not sure.
Intimidating.
Guessing probably the intimidation.
Yeah,
Center. Well, the
Infantry
intimidation center is a colony unique, I believe.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, if what it does is, which it's really awkward. You can't.
Oh, it gives plus morale. That is awkward and annoying. It's plus morale.
It's plus morale. So
Yep.
that means if you put it next to another morale building, it would give you a
Sure.
morale.
Sure.
So it has nothing to do with the ideology. It has to do with what it is. That would be my answer to that. I would have to look to see very specifically what. I mean, if you gave me a more specific example, maybe I could
Sure.
tell if there was a bug involved. But it literally just is that the ideology is a secondary thing.
But it really is.
generated
It's
by the
classed as like a morale improvement.
Yeah, the
or
preparedness
something,
center
isn't
is a defense improvement.
Right. So-
That thing is an approval improvement. So other approval improvements would give it a bonus, or it would give bonuses to other improvements.
Need more ways to spend mineable resources. Not really a question, but I guess a feature request. Something like terraforming any tile for 1000 BC plus 2 Durantium.
Oh God,
That would be
that would
difficult.
I'm already considering just nerfing Ultra Terraformer quite a bit because of this problem. No,
Yeah.
there are. Yeah, we certainly could come up with some. Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Certainly come up with some more interesting things for that.
Scouting with your colony ships. It
I'm
makes me so
not. I just
crazy.
sending them out.
Well, that's called scouting.
That's not scouting. Just go to this planet.
Where you're going to scout the planet, right?
I suppose.
Am I taking crazy pills here? Oh, I
This
can't
galaxy is
scout.
too- I am
colony
in,
ships.
I am in a
Oof.
really crappy spot here.
Oof.
Here, you know what? Let's just cave in and soak.
Let's see. Okay, fair enough. Scott was again talking about how jealous he was of how you can just soak and talk on the stream, and he has to keep playing. And it's so
Well,
much
it's hard.
It's totally hard. Now after the launch week extravaganza where I was having to play and talk, I finally had to admit that it's not as easy as I make it look when I'm
Yeah.
hosting. Do you think it's possible to add filters for the zoomed out galaxy map, like showing only ships, only resources, etc.? I would love that. Because sometimes it is hard to find kind of what you're looking for. When you're on this view, be able to say like only render the icons for resources or colonies or anomalies or
I don't know
pirates.
if I would be comfortable with hiding them completely, but I wouldn't mind having some like things where everything other than whatever you've got selected like gets
or like
gets to lowered down in
Sure.
intensity or something.
sure.
The problem is it would be very easy to not uncheck a box.
Oh, and then
and
like
get
forget about
murdered.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to be really careful about something like that. It's not as trivial as it sounds.
That's true. Let's see. Please show the actual diplomatic scores like in Frog Boy's build.
That is the debug build, and we purposely don't do that because then it encourages people to essentially like try and game the AI
Sure.
extensively. I mean, we only show that in debug. Now, if you want to argue that case with Brad, then maybe we could come up with something. But I personally think it would actually turn the game into a little too much nitpicking on the diplomacy.
Sure.
Wow, there is a shite ton of pirates on this map.
Oh, pirates. We need to get pirates in multiplayer. Like, I feel like multiplayer misses out so much because I really like the way pirates change the early game.
Oh, I forgot that we had disabled them.
We have indeed. Anyway, how about an option to destroy useless starbases that I used to expand my ship's ranges during a war? Is there not a way to decom
Yeah, you can
starbases?
just select the starbase and hit decommission.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a shipyard, but
Yeah, but you do it with starbases too, and and you'll even get some money back here.
right.
So you go right here, decommission.
Oh, I can actually, there. Now you can see it, now that I've hidden the cameras.
Decommission.
All right. Let's see. When can we see the map editor? I know that's something that people have been asking for.
We've got it pretty far along. We're really want to make sure that everything is solid in 1.3. So we kind of push back some of that stuff, but it'll be in 1.2.
Okay.
I mean 1.1.
There you go. What does a +1 bonus for factory do? You can actually see it on the tooltip, but for factories in specific, manufacturing improvements are all 5% extra manufacturing per level.
As a rule, most things are a 5% bonus.
So it's research on research labs or morale.
So
on
in
morale
this one,
buildings.
you can see here that this factory is getting level 2, so it's getting a manufacturing of 10%.
Right. So it's generally speaking, it's 5% across the board. Some things don't work quite like that.
Yeah, some are flat, some are
like food. I think
global.
is flat.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to. There's one other one. Oh, flat bonuses to morale are also flat, which makes them extremely strong, actually.
Yes.
But I've also been playing a Kryn game, and the Kryn are still madly overpowered, and I love them, and they're a lot of fun. The whatever their freaking 50% bonus pop on colony ships, or when you found a new colony, they get 50% bonus pop, which also applies to invasions, is so freaking good. I'm pretty sure
shouldn't apply to invasions.
I could be wrong. I didn't.
That's a bug if that is happening.
Well, I do. I'm really good at murdering everyone as a Kryn. I know that.
God, if that is true, that's a horrible bug. You should report that and not just exploit it.
Well, it's more fun if I.
Okay.
I'm not in QA.
I think that you're. I think you must be wrong because I feel like we would have noticed.
Let's see. Now that ideology is much more expensive, which is a good thing, will you be introducing more sources of ideology, like more ways to get more ideology?
You can still. Your primary way. The problem was that it was too easy.
Right.
Once you build a couple improvements, you just have to wait. So we will, however, be eventually introducing more. I want to add more ideological events.
Sure.
I'd like to add ideological anomalies. Some things
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to make ideological choices on invasion.
I remember
some stuff like that.
Seriously, those two things are like some of the first things that I remember even talking to you about with Galciv.
No.
When I started,
we want to do these things. There's just only so much time.
Sure. Let's see. A bunch of questions about diplomacy, more diplomacy options, that sort of thing. Certainly, I know that there's an expansion that will be focused on diplomacy. I don't know what we're looking at in kind of the short term. 1.1, 1.2 improvements for diplomacy. Is there anything on the table, Paul?
Yeah, mostly. However, probably not in 1.1 because 1.1 is mostly just to get the Steam Workshop stuff in,
right,
and stability fixes. We really won't start adding any major new features until at least 1.2.
Fair enough. How about a DLC with more pirate options and such?
Yeah, we're definitely going to do more with pirates. I don't know if it'll be in a DLC, if it'll be in a patch, if it'll be in an expansion, but we want to do some more fun stuff with the pirates.
Totally.
One of the things that I don't know is not what the heck? Oh, that was weird. One of the things we want to do is make it so that we did do in this patch that most people probably don't notice is we made it so you can play the pirate ship style. So that's cool.
So you can select that for your custom race?
Yeah,
sure.
Because it was mostly done, and it was like, why don't we just let people use it? So I had Brandon kind of flesh it out, and now you can play. And it's kind of neat. They have their star bases are like built around an asteroid and some clever stuff like that.
How do you find the race number for attempting to switch races using the local player cheat? I mean, it's just 0 through whatever the...
There is no...
you type in local player.
Way, I mean, there might be a way, but I don't know what it is. I just type in 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
It's essentially the order they were added to the game.
Sure.
So if you remember the order, you added them to the game. They're never the same. The Drengen's not always 1 or whatever.
Zapgun for Hire is asking again for sector lines, which is something that he's been asking for, that people have been asking for a long time. It's the problem is sector lines are hard to do on hex maps.
Yes. No, we've had this discussion before. There's no pretty, really honestly, there's no pretty way to do it.
Right.
So we have not found a pretty way to do it. That doesn't mean there isn't a pretty way to do it. So we'll keep playing with it. I kind of do like the idea of bringing them back. So we'll see.
Fair enough. Let's see. More questions about starbases. I think we already pretty much got to. Synthetic life forms currently regard you as flesh and meat, even if you are yourself a superior synthetic life form.
Oh,
We should add a flag to the dialogue there.
That's good. That should actually be pretty easily addressed. We just have to look into it.
When will we be able to scroll from shipyard to shipyard? Is that going on?
Any day. No, it's on my list. It's just that like I said, our primary concern right now is stability and bugs, and so we're fixing things more than adding features. But we do have it on the list to make it so you can scroll between those.
Apparently, intuitive is still broken. When you save, then load your game before using your free research. Well, don't do that. But I mean, not that we shouldn't fix it, but in the meantime, don't do it.
Wait. Intuitive is broken.
If you save the game and then reload it
then you don't
before
get
using
your
your
points?
research,
Yeah.
Intuitive
I don't
also,
even know how we would fix that, because essentially the intuitive, the points are given to you as a trigger to starting the game.
Oh.
So when you're then loading a new game, you're not starting a new game.
And so it's not hitting that trigger.
So it's not hitting that trigger. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but for such an extreme example of, well, I started the game.
I mean, the short answer is use your free research.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so are they essentially hitting turn first?
I don't know.
Because I don't know what the point of saving on turn 0 is. And if they're maybe cheating, turning off turn or turning off research prompts and then playing along, hoping to use those points later. But that seems really odd too.
That seems really weird.
Yeah, I would need. I mean, that is a type of bug that is not so much a bug as I don't know. I don't know if that would honestly be worth addressing, because it's such an extreme.
It's a weird,
set of
unusual edge
circumstances.
case. Yes. Let's see. I personally think the prolific trait is overpowered itself. I made a custom faction with it, and it was even more broken than the Kryn. Well, that's
Which prolific? The
Kryn
well,
special.
I nerfed that a little in the last
Did you?
build. It used to be 100% bonus. And there was something else that was broken. There was a prolific ideology trait that was giving people a huge. Yeah, that was so. Yeah, try it in 1.3 and let us know. I mean, it's supposed to be powerful because it's a trait, but it's not supposed to be game-breakingly powerful. However, the thing with if transports are getting extra people, then that is a problem.
Indeed. Let's see. Silor says, I'm going to ask the band a question. Are you going to add more stars and planets back in without having to mod them in at least a little? There were some changes made at one point to the map script.
I changed it substantially back. If you get 1.2, they should be a lot higher than they were. It's not quite as high. I think it used to cap out at 1,600 stars, and now it's 1,200 stars, whereas Brad at one point had it at 200 stars.
Oh, jeez.
So that was the problem. No, it was 200 planets. It wasn't 12.
Oh, okay.
But it was lower. So,
okay.
We did tweak them a little bit, but it should be substantially better. If he's still having that problem in the more recent build, then I don't know what to say.
Fair enough. Let's see. People are excited about invasion ideology, or ideology choices for invasions, which I agree would be really cool. Will there eventually be a research queue to allow 2 or more research trees to be selected in advance? That would be a big change.
Not 2 or more, but I am thinking of adding a. I guess depending on how he describes it, then yes. Essentially, what I want to do is, in the research screen, have a queue.
Right.
Here.
But that's a UI thing, not a...
Yes. Well, no, what I'm saying is if I add something from this tree, then add something from this tree, it'll just go into the queue.
Sure.
So yes, But yeah, that probably won't be until like a 1.3.
Oh, really? Fair enough.
Mostly just because it's one of those things that could very easily break stuff. So we have to make sure it's solid and behaves.
All right. Let's see. Please add more leader picks.
Yes.
I suppose we could do that.
Well, we
I don't
want
know.
to, but we're also hoping that as people
Steam
start
Workshop is a
adding
big
things to
yeah.
Steam, it'll take some of the pressure off.
Right. Hopefully, I mean, the hope is that you'll have a ton of stuff to download and check out off the Steam Workshop that other players have created. So,
Now, but that said, we will probably introduce more leader picks with each DLC and expansion and everything. But yeah, we're hoping that once there's 1,000 races on Steam, the pressure for us to provide parts will be a little lower.
right. This one comes up a lot. Experience points for ships and captains for fleets. That's an expansion thing. It's on our minds, but it's an expansion thing. Let's see. Filtering for the ship list.
That is, however, on my list. Yes.
For soon, yes?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we have it for some of them. What's funny.
Yeah.
But we don't have it for everything.
Yeah, for ships in particular.
Actually, we do. The problem is we just don't have categories. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Probably in 1.2, maybe in 1.1.
Okay.
I still want to get this so actually you can filter by fleets. So
that's the big thing for me too.
That's the reason why we haven't done anything, is because I would like to do a more substantial overhaul of it, and that's something we can't just do in a patch.
Sure. What are the current plans for mitigating the LEP? This is Zapcon for Hire, who plays on Giganto maps and is always concerned about the playability issues with Giganto maps. The large Empire penalty.
The large Empire penalty. Well, there's a couple things we're going to do. We need to make it a curve based on the number of habitable planets in the map.
Right.
Is one. We're going to do that for a lot of things. We're going to essentially add a modifier for that can be applied to anything. So like,
sure.
all texts take longer if there's 1,000 habitable planets on the map.
Because that's the other problem with insane maps right now.
Yeah.
That's
So that'll be part of that overall pass. One of the things that also is we're going to do is make it so that the Promethean Pleasure Park makes it so the planet is not
affected by
it.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be cool. So
that's
you
a
can
good...
just very easily just go boom boom and you put one of those on each thing.
Nice.
And yet it's because it requires Promethean, it's kind of rare and
I dig it. Here's a good one. How about dealing with overproduction by colonies? My multiplayer mates take so much time managing production sliders each turn so as not to lose any production points due to the lack of carrying overproduction on a planet. I thought we did carry.
We do carry overproduction on a planet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure maybe it's no visible way of knowing that.
That might be the case.
Yeah.
Well, okay. There you go.
I mean, they use the same math as the shipyards. I can double check that, but it should work. I'll make sure maybe at some point it got broken and I didn't know it, but it should work.
When you trade or get a specialization tech and you already are working on another, you get both, but you can't select one after you've gotten one. Maybe you should be able to always research one by yourself. So like, okay, so if you trade for a specialization tech,
kind of a good point.
That's not bad.
It'd be hard to check against that. So it wouldn't be a trivial thing to add. But
because you'd have
I
to
can look into that.
You'd have to make it. You'd have to add a flag basically.
Yeah, it's like, did I get
tech,
this or did I trade for it? And that's not.
Well, that's for tech brokering though. Don't you need that for tech brokering anyway? What you wanted to put in?
No, tech brokering just says, can I? Well, yeah, maybe.
I mean, you could use the same attribute.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll have to check on that.
Huh, that's a good idea, though. All right. Can we have a micro map size?
Wow. That's not a request we get very often. If you want a micro map size, here's what you do is you do a tiny map with rare stars.
There you go. Let's see. Will the new medium UI make map icons bigger? It's so hard to see things when you zoom out. For example, the planet capital crowns.
That is actually a resolution issue that we are going to fix. Probably won't get until 1.1, but it actually is that those icons are based on screen size, and therefore the way they scale gets confused if you have a higher resolution, so they get really tiny.
I see.
So yeah, we're looking into fixing that, but it really doesn't have anything to do with the UI. Although we might tie it to the UI because it would make it would be more logical.
So this is a good idea, but it might be...
Holy!
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, no, the miners love to do that. They make a gajillion tinies and stick them on their home planet.
That's kind of awesome.
It does look sweet.
I guess he's defending himself. Why does he have 60? Oh, because the planet has 60 logistics.
No, I see the miners doing that all the time.
Oh,
hey,
that's
our faction winner.
215 turns.
That's true. That's our faction winner. That's the Orphica Enclave.
Yeah.
This is a great idea, but it might be obviated by your plan for governors. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. This is from Terran Crusader, who's one of our longtime supporters, who's been a force for good in the Galciv community. We appreciate your support. He says, can we get an option to group planets together so that their production can be adjusted from a single screen rather than changing their production individually or changing the entire civilization's production? For example, you can flag that this is a research planet. I want to set all my research planets to this production allocation. That's a good idea, but like I said, it might be, I don't know if governors are going to obviate that or not.
I'm inclined to say that it would get too hard to manage, but I do like the idea in general. I'm wondering if we could maybe tie that, essentially say, what we do is the way you group a planet together is by assigning a governor to it, and then you can tell that governor what to do.
Right.
And that way it would then override. I mean, that would be different governor behavior than what we have currently planned, but I do like the idea enough to where I might think about it. If you could then give your governors instructions,
right?
That could be cool. Of course, the only problem with that also is that it would have to be optional because one of the whole points of having governors is not to
research
have to
planet. Go right.
So, but it's certainly an idea. I like it.
My dream for governors, and I know I will never get this, but I have to put it out there because someday somebody will make a game with this in it, and I will be so happy. But would be to basically steal the Gambit system, the idea of the Gambit system from Final Fantasy XII, and give it to governors, so that there's basically like, you have your first priority is to do this, but then if this other condition is met, do this other thing, and be able to actually mix and match and create my own governor with that kind of scripting system. So it's like,
well, what the governors right now will be is essentially what we have for the AI, whereas essentially a list, say, focus on this, as long as you have this, and then add this. So it's kind of what you want. But
it's not something that's player defined, though.
It will eventually be. You will eventually be able to player define one. That is the way it worked in Gals in Twilight, although it wasn't as robust as what we want to do. Okay. So yes, at some point you might actually get what you want.
Fair enough.
At first it'll be just use this governor, later we'll make it so that you can define your own governors, because the governor is really just a list and then some AI behaviors.
Right. Okay, how come my faster scout ships can't retreat from battle? Because it's Galactic Civilizations and there is no retreating from battle.
There is no retreating.
Because there's a gajillion ships. The Kryn are really on the move here. They are not happy with the Altarians.
We are at 266. Whoa. That must be their rally point, or...
I'm guessing. Oh, man.
Holy moly.
They are getting it done. Or presumably they'll be getting it done soon anyway.
Oh, I forget that we don't let people... see there.
What, do we have something janky that we're trying not to show?
No, I just wanted to, there was a stack.
All right.
Damn.
DirectX 12? Question mark.
There will not be a DirectX 12 version of Galciv 3 anytime soon.
Okay.
We may start adapting some of that. I know Brad has high hopes for, what is it, metal or
Vulcan?
Yeah, and
Vulcan is the other one.
Well, yeah, which is the other one. So we'll
because Vulcan, the thing with Vulcan is that if we get it working on Vulcan, then it's pretty much on Mac and Linux, including SteamOS.
Yeah. So we'll see.
All right. Let's see.
God, that's a lot of ships.
Can you add a tooltip above a star when you hover over it to tell you how many planets are in the solar system and what class they are?
We've discussed that a few times, and we will probably eventually do something like that. But what we will probably limit it to is it will only show the ship that things you know about.
Right. Yeah,
In
I
Galactic
would never
2,
use
we
that
actually had a
personally.
context area here for stars, but the problem is
right.
there's very little information, so it seems kind of weird to have it there.
Right.
But I'd like people to be able to rename their stars, so we'll probably essentially bring a mini context here, and it'll list the planets, the known planets on it, and their class.
Sure. Let's see. Why were the Drengen and Kryn abilities changed?
You have to talk to Brad about it. I actually changed them back slightly, but I need to rebalance. We're gonna have to take a couple peeks at that. There was some problems, but they are not fixed in stone.
Fair enough. Let's see.
Speaking of which, did I get my changes in? I don't even know. Actually, I'll have to check.
Have you thought about a Starbase upgrade that would allow players to harvest a resource of some kind from stars? That's not a bad idea to add a resource that can spawn on stars.
The problem is that there are a bazillion stars, and there are a bazillion dead planets, and and that it's the whole point of the resources is that they're rare. So it's hard to say. I mean, even asteroid mining, we probably will bring asteroid mining back, but it will just give production. So we would kind of have to do the same with stars, and so I don't know. I wouldn't say something like that will never come, but we need to find a really compelling gameplay version for it, not just these don't do anything.
We had a question a little while back that I skipped over that I shouldn't have. Will the amount of Durantium ever be brought under control? Because right now you tend to get like 10-to-1 Durantium versus anything else.
Well, brought under control is a relative question. Maybe oh my God.
I actually kind of like that Durantium is kind of the common resource.
It is supposed to be more common. I want to know what the F is going on here.
The Kryn they're kind of dancing around their ships a lot.
No, there's something wrong. They should not be. They should not be this powerful.
Who are they at war with? Dude, I'm telling you that. Whoa. Okay, they're a little out of control. Probably because they have a gajillion ships is why their power is so high.
Well, yeah, but why do they have so many ships? How many planets?
They have so many ships.
Did they get like all the planets?
They might have.
Oh, I guess I should.
I mean, you could just zoom out and look at it on the tactical map.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They do have the most planets.
Oh, they are really big. Man, that is a ton of ships.
Yeah,
they are really big.
Still seems wrong. Seems like something is broken.
I'm telling you, the Kryn are OP, man. They are OP. All right. Will we see custom researchers like the humans have instead of the robots that look the same for all the other factions?
As time allows, yes.
Yeah, I know the cinematics department is very busy is the short answer to that.
Yeah, it's very expensive for something that most people don't care about.
Yeah, I mean, Brad came in. The only reason the humans have a special one is because Brad kind of came in.
Well, I actually wanted them all to be unique, but then we ended up with we didn't have the time, and then we decided, well, let's do at least the Terrans, and then we were able to do a couple more, but we want to do more eventually.
Right. Let's see. Oh. This one comes up a lot. What is the possibility of an endgame upgrade of some kind that would allow stacks to warp across the map, such as wormholes?
Not anytime soon, but that is not to say that one of the expansions will have hypergates, which is kind of what you want.
Right. Let's see.
They have 162 ships, 18 worlds.
My goodness.
There is something wrong, though. I want to know why they have such good ships.
They got to be making a ridiculous amount of money to keep up all those ships, too.
I'm wondering if
that's a lot of ships.
If something is broken that I am unaware of.
Might want to check into that. Let's see. 102 keeps crashing when I play my favorite game back from a previous version. Sorry about that. How do I submit the bug, and also do you want the Windows dialog of the error report? The best way is to submit it on the forums. Submit post your link to download the game, the save game. And yeah, I mean, any additional information is super helpful. The debug.error and all that stuff is very helpful. But post it to the support forum is the best way. Let's see. Is there a way to get a research treaty without becoming slavers? Currently, the tech is called Slave Trading Treaty.
Oh, yes. That is. Sorry about that. I thought I had fixed that. I will make sure that is in 1.3.
Fair enough. Let's see. All right. You have anything you want to get to, Paul? Or are you just trying to track down?
I am trying to track down why the Kryn are so ridiculously powerful.
Did you switch over local player to take them over?
See, 60 is high, but it's
not
not
ridiculous,
it's not
though.
crazy high.
I mean, they got a Durantium refinery on there, a bunch of stuff.
It's not crazy high.
Man, that's got 50. That's a lot, too.
Yeah, I mean, but I see players with,
a lot of
300.
Though. And all
That's
their planets
108.
Whoa! That was a planet with 44 population, planet with 35 population. That's a lot.
Well, that's not impossible, though.
No, it's not impossible. It's just...
But okay, so we've got 108 here, 109, and this is a 18 population planet. That's not even that high.
109 is a lot. What are they? So 4 mega factories.
Mega factories are the big thing.
Yeah. All right.
But this is fun. I mean, yeah, that's a lot.
It
but
is
that
also
is that is nowhere near enough to create that giant death fleet.
It is. Well, they have a lot of worlds, though. Are they creating like crappy ships that are cheap to build?
Didn't look like it.
And just making a bunch of them?
Didn't look like it.
Interesting. Yeah, Terran Crusader says, the Kryn have been the top AI faction in every game I've played. Yeah. No, the Kryn and the Yor tend to be, in my experience,
well, the Yor
the
are purposely kind of late game OP because of the way they grow. You kind of need to kill them early. But they're weak early and strong end game. That's kind of one of their abilities. Whereas this is just something weird. And I need to track down what it is.
That's very interesting.
It's almost as if they're getting free ships
44
or something.
44. I mean, that's not a weak ship.
No, these are beefy ships. Look, they have 200. They're running negative.
But not massively negative. I mean, well, minus 75 ain't great.
No, and they have 275 ship maintenance. It's not like they have money. Look at that. They're dropping money every turn.
Huh.
I'm going to save this game. And
that's very interesting.
I have not seen the Kryn go this crazy ever. So I feel like it's something that must be in this build that we just made today.
Zapgun for Hire, Captain Gigantomap, is saying 100 isn't high production. Well, yeah, not on an insane map on turn 4,000.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is players get them up to crazy, ridiculous levels. That's why I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about why he's got a zillion ships here. Where are these ships coming from? These are expensive ships.
Yeah, they are. Jeez.
Maybe I have it. I did have it on random.
Oh,
maybe
are
he's
they
on Genius and everybody else is on.
Oh, that could be.
That's probably why.
That's
probably why. That would make more sense. Because if he's on Genius, then he's
got crazy bonuses. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel a lot better. Okay.
I didn't realize random does difficulty.
I have to check. That's just.
I feel like
theory.
it shouldn't.
No, I thought that we didn't do that.
They are at war with everyone.
Yeah. Well, I would be too if I could. Yeah, there's no way to tell the player difficulty. I don't know. Crazy.
Farmers is OP, by the way, too.
I thought I fixed that.
Did you fix it? You may have fixed it since last time I looked at it.
Yeah. No, I changed it. We fixed a ton of these in the last patch.
Sam Dominion points out that this points out the need to be able to see the settings in the game. That would actually be nice. That actually came up in the Sorcerer King stream this week as well.
We used to let people get back to the main menu, but it causes all kinds of problems with freaking multiplayer, which is the bane of our existence. And therefore, we had to we just made it so that if you exit, you exit. But so we would have to come up with like a whole user interface to see settings. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean it's not possible, but it's not something we can do easily.
Sure. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for the stream this week, fellas and ladies.
I think the Kryn have got this one down.
I think the Kryn are going to win. I think they're probably going to manage that.
Albeit, in all honesty, they have that many planets. These guys have 2.
Right.
The Terrans have 2. They should be super overpowered. Maybe the reason why these guys are flying around is because they built them when they were fighting, and they just don't know what to do with them.
That could be.
So they're just flying around in a circle, and it's actually not as bad as it looks. But
That's
it's
a lot of ships.
That's
though,
a lot of
man.
ships. Oh.
Well, did you figure something out?
I think that they must have somebody surrendered to them and gave them a bunch of ships.
Oh yeah, because those weren't Kryn ships, were they?
Those weren't Kryn ships.
Those are Altarians.
These are Altarian ships.
They did beat up on the Altarians.
Huh.
That must
All
be.
right, well,
okay.
this
Oh,
is
interesting.
what I get to do for the next 5 years is fix things like this. But that's crazy.
Oh, hey, Vids, I don't know how to pronounce that name. 103 didn't fix resistance and planetary defense technologies. You forgot the scope global tag on the resistance text, and defense needs the same fix. Interesting. I'm just going to Skype you this.
I'm going to say that isn't true, but I need to.
I'm going to Skype you what he said so that you can.
Because not all things are global. Resistance is a faction stat.
Well, it's in your Skype, so you can take a look at it.
Okay. I will
And
check
if
on
there's
that.
a-
But we fixed a bunch of those. Actually, reflection. I need to know which resistance he's talking about, because there's
Nice.
if it's resistance from a tech, it's one value. If it's resistance from a trade, it's another. If it's resistance from an improvement, it's another, and they're not necessarily the same thing.
Well, this guy says that he submitted a bug report and a save game, and I have now sent
right.
you his what
right.
he put in here. So
No, it's
we'll
good.
take a
That's
look
the
at
best kind of bug report where they just point me to the XML.
Those are great. All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. It's been fun. I think we're going to keep up the streams for now, since we still have kind of a lot of changes kind of coming in, and at least through 1.1, I think we probably need to keep on streaming. And I can't take Paul's radio show away from him.
Yeah, sure.
So there's just once again the cool world map. I'm kind of fascinated by the world map with all the Galciv stuff. So, here's a good question. Should I use the Steam forums or the Galciv forum to submit bug reports? Probably. We keep an eye on both. I would use the Galciv support forum on galciv3.com is your better bet. Although we do absolutely check the Steam forums as well. So,
There's one pirate left.
Man, where are these dudes? There's like dudes on boats in the middle of the Atlantic playing.
Oh, this is
Galciv.
pirate. This is a pirate. This is a starbase that was given to the pirates. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
With an ascension crystal.
Nice. Pirates. If the pirates ascend, there should be an
Actually,
achievement for that.
no. That's funny is that these guys have it. So he must have had it before he went pirate or something.
Funny. Oh, yeah, because if the Altarians surrendered or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, no, if they surrendered, they would have given their stuff over. But if they just got eliminated, their starbases.
Oh, wait, there's one last thing. One of the things we did do is now if you do a new design, or actually not a new design, if you grab a existing design, I guess I don't actually have any, but I say use design, and I say save, and I call it, I guess I should have paid attention to what it was called before.
Oh, that's a shaper.
Yeah, no, this is a Shaper Mark 7, right? So I say new design, oops, cancel.
Use design.
Save Mark 7. Save it. Oops. Oh, because that wasn't a user design. Anyways, you can overwrite your own design.
Oh, yeah, I did notice that actually when I was...
It will actually prompt you and say, do you want to overwrite this?
Yep.
Because we don't want people to...
Which is nice. It helps cut down the spam of userships, which is cool. So, all right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. It's been fun. Come back on Tuesday for Servo, new RTS by Bonus XP and Stardock. It's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. And you can see that being played live on the stream on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific? No, 3 p.m. Eastern. And we will see you then.